Welcome to Edify Living, where we look beyond the horizon because there is always more to life. Over the course of my experience with the world, I have seen the person who is surrounded by the most number of people is actually the most loneliest inside. And we have always been taught that life gets easier with company. But what we are actually not taught is that what kind of company actually makes life easier. You could easily have 500 contacts in your dial pad, but how many of those will actually come by your side and stand beside you when an unfortunate tragedy happens? Because as harsh as it sounds, everybody will celebrate your success, but only a few will be there to hold up after your failures. The wiser one gets, the sooner they understand that being alone is not bad. When you begin appreciating your own company, then only you will be able to evaluate who actually values your company and who just doesn't. But it is also true that you can be in a room full of thousands of people and yet you can feel the loneliest on the planet. Because as same as the words sound, but lonely and alone are two different kinds of emotions. When one actually is a choice, the other is a dark cloud in your life that deprives you of joy and light. As you grow in life, you begin to realize that not everybody can rise with you. And the sad truth is, you do not have to face betrayal to leave people behind. Sometimes you have to do it because you cannot pull everybody with you. And that way, people just get left behind. And there is nothing wrong. Why? Two reasons. Life is about realizing your full potential, however it is, and that can only happen when you keep growing. Second, that's not how the world works, where people who are truly matching your frequency, they will rise and match all your levels. And by levels, I'm not talking about materialistic levels. I'm talking about emotional, maturity, and similar thought process levels. And the other thing is that when sometime people are left behind because of circumstances of life, as you progress further, there are also people who need to be immediately cut off. Not because they were toxic or a negative influence, but because they were hampering your growth. People who mess with your boundaries, make you feel bad about yourself and always play the blame game are usually the people who will have the sugar plum fairy mask on, making them appear the most sweetest and the kindest in the room. That's where you should know the difference between quantity and quality. Today's podcast is a generalized attempt from my side to help you filter your life of all such people who are not just a burden of Christmas cards to you that you send out every year. They make life complex for you. And I agree, life is a complex layer of emotions, choices, responsibilities, hopes and dreams. But in all this, what is left is the company you spend your time with, your life with. And trust me when I say this, the people you surround yourself can make or break your life. Let's do an exercise together. Think about all the people in your life right now, except your immediate family. Who came the first in your mind? Okay, next question. Now think of all the best moments of the last years that you can easily recall with all these people you just thought. Which one brings the broadest smile? Last question. You need some really important advice in something that's happening in your life. Who comes to your mind to call the first? Now those are the people you should have the closest to you. Not because they make you the happiest, but also because they are also the ones who will pull you out of mess and push you in the right direction. My dad always tells this to me. He still does that, darling, always be conscious of the people you share your life with. Remember, hanging out with people who are better than you in some way, then only there is a scope of growth. Because no matter how hard or how stuck you try feeling, people around you who do not match your level of maturity, mindset, or view in life in general will always make you feel fixed. And I, over the time, have realized how true is that. Now, I'm not saying that you just need to hang out people who discuss geopolitics with you all the time. No. These are also the people you should act silly around, let loose, enjoy. But then these are also the people who push you out of the bubble when you begin slipping into one. These are the people who need to remind you of your highest potential from time to time and inspire you in some way or the other. That is quality. We talk about a lot of superficial things like trust, connections, bonds. And we never really trust anyone. We never really form those deep connections and bonds we talk about with everyone in general. Because truly, deep down, there are only a handful of people in your life who you'll stake your life for. Maybe there is only one such person, and that's absolutely fine. We say a lot of things we don't mean. We make promises just to break them at the end of the day. And we fake smiles just for the sake of it. So I want you to look around and see which of these people you actually trust. You actually make promises with the intentions to keep them fully. And most importantly, which of these people truly bring a wide smile on your face. Those are the people who are meant to be in your life. There is nothing wrong with meeting and making tons of friends. I have friends all around the world. But those are not my ticket to happiness, success, or progress of my life. That is in my hands and the people who know the core of me. That's the difference between a person with a successful mindset and a person with an average mindset. I read this somewhere. The moment you begin hanging out with winners, your wins will stop sounding like bragging, and that really hit deep inside me. We spend a lot of time building relationships only to find out that you are actually getting nothing in return. And if you're genuinely in a phase of life where you want to grow, chase your dreams, please understand, your time is of utmost value. You cannot go on and about investing it in everybody because ultimately, you're costing yourself that time. Invest your energy and time in those who actually value it and also provide you it in return. There is nothing selfish about it. You are likely to be more satisfied and content around the people who bring more than you bring on the table. People will come and go. It's always like seasons in your life. But you need to understand that those should be taken as a lesson to make you better than who you are today. Remember, we all have a blood family, but we also create a chosen family. Your chosen family should be a safe space. They are the people who should cheer you the hardest on your wins, pick you up on your losses, and complete you in the most healthy way. Tell you your wrongs and rights, and most certainly make you feel loved and cared enough. That is what quality is about. Before I wind up, I just have one last question. Close your eyes and imagine you have written a biopic about yourself. you are at its launching? Who are the people you're thanking except your parents? Yeah, that name or names is what this whole podcast has been about. Remember, listeners, if you really wish to succeed, then have friends who discuss business, investment, self development with you, who talk about growing from the space you're in right now. Stop taking everything personally. Nobody cares. And so should you. Most of your mental problems come out of it, so let it go. Create your chances. As you grow and shed your own layers into new ones, only those will survive with you who are able to shed their own layers and move forward. So if people come and go, it's not your fault. Not everyone will match your dreams and hopes. And it's better that way, trust me. Life is all about choices you make, the wrong one or the right one. But that's okay, as long as you have the courage to make a choice. That's all from my side today. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Priyal. See you next week. Tell us about your stories and experiences about this. I'm sure you'll have them. We'd love to hear your feedback as always. Until then, have a great week ahead. Bye-bye. Oh, and one last thing. This is a special note to the woman who has made me who I am today, who has taught me all these lessons that I am trying to pass on in the world. Happy birthday, Mama. I hope you have a great one. Thank you, and you're the biggest inspiration I have. I love you.